This is your lesson video for the piece Crossing Through Troubled Waters. This piece is unusual in that the melody is played by the left hand crossing over the right, so it requires a lot of mobility and accuracy. It is also in an unusual key, E flat minor, but it is quite pianistic and lies in the hand quite nicely on the black keys. Let's start with the melody. Isolate and practice the melody. You can even practice it with your right hand to hear it legato. This will help you learn it. Now that's a little disjointed and it's a little hard to hear that melodically, so I'm going to add some pedal to it because I think that'll just make it easier for me to hear. That little chord at the end is not really part of the melody. It's just a final chord, okay? So now that I think I can hear it, I think I could sing it if I had to. I'm going to try playing that with my left hand with the finger numbers that it's using. So when I do the crossover, I'm always going to pop that melody note with my second finger. You can see every note is marked 2 on the first 2 lines, so it's going to be like this. And again, I'm using pedal to make it sound more like a melody. And for these thirds, I'm using 4-2. The music indicates 4-2 on all of them on line 3, and on line 4 it's 2-5 on that perfect fourth, and 2-5 on that perfect fourth, and 2-5 on that perfect fourth. So you're using 4-2 on the thirds, 5-2 on the fourths. Let me try that with some pedal now. You can see how far I have to reach over. It's quite a distance, and if I had my right hand on the piano, you could really, you could really kind of get the lay of the land here. See, it's a big reach like that. So I'm going to actually try keeping my right hand here as I play the melody, just so I can get the feel of how it, what it feels like to have my arms like that. Watch that fourth right there. So let's look at the accompaniment now. The accompaniment is constructed of arpeggiated chords the whole time, your left hand and your right hand. Just a lot of arpeggiated chords, but you always want to block these before you try to play them as written. You also need to do a written harmonic analysis before you begin to play. I'll give you these hints. You're in E flat minor. There are only primary chords. There are mainly primary chords in this key. 1, minor 4, of course, in the 6/4 position, 5, 6, 3. But there are 2 places where you have a chord that is not a primary chord. I want you to look for it, and I want you to find it, and I want you to mark it clearly in your analysis that you're going to turn in to me. So we're going to practice the accompaniment using the technique of blocking. We're going to start with the right hand because we do things hand separately, and the right hand's a little easier than the left. So that's why I want to take that first. So in the first bar, I have that chord twice. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Second line, I'm doing this 6/4 chord, the 6/3 chord. Here's a 6/3 chord, and the 6/3. If I compare lines 1 and 2 to lines 3 and 4, just the chords in the right hand, I might notice that it's identical. So really my right hand's just playing the same thing for measures 9 through 16 or 9 through 15 as it is for the first 8 bars. So that's really good. That really reduces what I have to think about. The left hand, if I were to block it, I should notice almost immediately that my hands are playing the exact same inversions. So it's looking a little bit like this piece isn't that hard, but don't kid yourself. It does have some tricky spots. The left hand is definitely harder than the right hand for many reasons, not just because I have to cross over and play a melody, but also because if I look at the bar line, if I look at the end of each measure, sometimes I'm playing one chord going down and a different chord going up. So I really need to practice those. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to practice the everything I see. So in the left hand, so the downbeat, the end of the bar, the downbeat of the next bar, the end of the bar. There's only 2 notes there. And then the next chord. Being careful to play exactly what I see. Watch this. So line 2 is really a little bit tricky. I'm going to start again with bar at measure 5. So from here, from this 6/4 position, I have to go to this 6/3. So you might want to practice just that chordal shift. This is bar 5 to 6. Bar 6 to 7, I had a 6/3, going to another 6/3. So I'm going to practice those. And bar 7 to 8 is the reverse, where I'm going from here. Bar 7 to 8, I'm going from this 6/3 to this 6/4. So there's a lot of quick shifts, 6/3 to 6/4. And I'll do that whole line again. have a similar situation on the last line. But definitely line 2 in the left hand is the hardest. So I'm going to suggest you do a little technical work on that, on those measures. So when you're going from, I'm going to do line 2 because that's the hard one. When I'm going from here, I want to practice them as written to get my hands used to it. Until it's easy. Here's bar 6 to 7. A tricky fingering. Right here, you have to go from 3 to 5. And then shift your position. Remember, it's this. I would accept this fingering. In fact, that's a pretty good fingering. 4, 2, 1. That sets you up well for bar 7 to 8. That's a really good fingering, I think. So I'm going to do line 2 again. And when you're really comfortable, you might need to do that with some pedals. So remember, the pedal's going to change exactly after the note where it's indicated in the score. So I'm going to start with my pedal down. I play the D, and then I change my pedal real quick. I play the E flat, and then I change my pedal. Okay, I'm going to do it without talking so you can really hear how smooth it is and how there are no breaks. Okay, don't neglect that step because that's really one of the hardest things about the piece. Now it's time to just practice blocking the hands together. Still no melody. And I would stagger them so you can practice doing a nice drop roll. Etc. So you can really see that drop roll. I'm going to do it again. I can also do it this way. the whole piece that way. You can see how I'm just taking this piece apart. You can see I'm deconstructing it, and then I'm reconstructing it piece by piece, and I don't do any new piece until I'm completely comfortable. All right, guess what? It's now time to add in the melody. I would just practice the shifts, just like this. So now that you've gotten used to doing the crossover, you might want to practice it again, but this time keeping your right hand there, because it does feel different to have your right hand there this is easier because you can kind of see what you're doing. This is a little more complicated. So let's try that. Remember to start with your pedal down and keep your heel on the floor. Now add the right hand blocked. Notice how quickly I'm getting my right hand into position, rather not quickly but early. I'm always getting there early. It's continuing on with bar 9. I know it looks really easy when I do it. You might not be able to do it so easily the first time. You may have to repeat it many, many times. But I would take small sections. I would especially concentrate on line 2 because that's a really difficult line. The last thing you want to do is unroll these chords. Hear how I'm working on the musicianship aspect of this. I'm keeping the accompaniment really soft as marked, and then I'm really pinging those. They're staccato with an accent. So that means you want, right? So it's going to sound like this. I'll do line 3 so you can hear how that line sounds. Now, in line 3, the accompaniment is mezzo forte. So that means everything's a little louder. And so that means the ping notes need to be even louder. It's a little drama at the end with the ritardando, and then the little comma, a little breath, kind of a pause, and then a sudden outcry at the end in that forte chord. I'm going to do the last 2 bars. And the long fermata. I failed to mention the pianissimo dynamic in measure 7 and 8. I'm going to do that line for you, line 2 again. Notice the contrast that I'm going to get. You know, not all my notes spoke very well. So what a lot of pianists would do is they would use the Corda pedal, which is the very far left pedal. We call that, some people call it the soft pedal. You can see when I put it down that my keys are shifting, right? Only grand pianos do that. Regular pianos, acoustic pianos don't do that. And of course, digital pianos may not even have an unicorda or soft pedal. But this is how it would sound. When you use it, you just put it down and you hold it down the whole time. You want the passage to be softer, and then you let it up when you're done. So I'm going to do that line with the unicorda applied on bar 7. So you hear the unicorda gave it a maximum amount of contrast. It gave it kind of a otherworldly, ghostly sound. I didn't mention that you pedal as usual with the damper pedal while you use the soft pedal. You don't change what you're doing with the damper pedal. You just apply the soft pedal and hold it. All right, so there's a lot to do in this piece. There's a lot of musical indications. It's kind of a fun piece. You shouldn't go quite as slow as I'm going right now. This is a practice tempo for me. Your tempo may be even slower, but maybe this is a good tempo. and you should enjoy that fermata at the end. Okay, guys, work hard on this. This is a cool piece. It's fun to play. It requires some skill, so get started.